Indian atheist arrested in the United Arab Emirates for blasphemy against Islam. So, Dubai police have arrested an Indian immigrant, Abdul Kaider Puthiyangadi, on blasphemy charges. Abdul is from the Kasaragod district in Kerala, India. He is known to be a rationalist. A complaint was lodged against Kaider's anti-religious comments with the Dubai police. He was arrested on the alleged charges of trolling Islam, quote unquote, on social media. Zealots have made allegations against Abdul Kaider previously. The UAE government punishes blasphemy with several years in prison if convicted, and apostasy is punishable by death. In the case of non-citizens, they are often deported. Alternatively, he may face trial under Islamic law, which could result in a prison sentence. To support Abdul during this ordeal, freethinkers started a social media campaign called #StandUpWith Abdullah Kaider Puthiyangadi.
Okay, so his situation is worse because he's an Abdul and not a
Arjun
or something like that, right? Like he's he's Indian, but he wasn't like an ex-Hindu Indian. He's an ex-Muslim Indian, right?
Yes.
And
in the UAE, apostasy is punishable by death.
In UAE, guys, repeat that, please, because UAE is trying to act like it's part of the modern world now, and people could come because it's not, Sharia up the wazoo everywhere. But just remember, no, this is this UAE is like a backward, barbaric country that needs to be shamed for it.
Death. Apostasy is punishable by death, and UAE citizens are by default considered Muslim.
It's something so beautiful about somebody with the name Abdul from India blaspheming against Islam in the UAE. This is so, it just warms my heart in so many ways. But Rivka, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, and this isn't specific to Abdul Khader himself, but the sentence that says the arrest was on the alleged charges of trolling Islam. Islam isn't a person that has its own accounts. It's an ideology. And so saying that, I think, shows you exactly the often perception that people have as that the ideology itself is either needs defended, or that just saying anything about it is either, Islamophobic is another one of the, that you're hurting people. But this doesn't even say this. This is talking about trolling Islam. Just that sentence itself is ridiculous.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.
You can't troll something that, Islam isn't posting things. There's a person behind that. I know I'm not really going anywhere with that, but I'm bringing it up simply so people can see the level with which people are mentally doing gymnastics here.
Yeah, and Armin, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, So I actually found out about this news because some people reached out to us about it, and they gave me some more background information. Now, full asterisk disclosure, like I haven't been able to independently verify this information, so we're all going to treat this with, a degree of skepticism. But according to these people who reached out to Atheist Republic, it was people from the Kerala Muslim community who are in Dubai that then complained to him at the police.
No.
That's what I have been told. I don't know if this is true.
If this is true, these are a bunch of hypocrites. Like, they managed to get this guy in trouble for something that is not a crime back in their own country. And yet here they're using the laws of an Islamic country to get their fellow countrymen in trouble for the things that they don't like that he's saying. Holy crap. These people are the scum of the world. Oh my God. God damn it. These people are garbage. God, if this is true. I don't know if it's true. How can we help him? Like, is this like, so what? Okay, so it's so great that he's not a UAE citizen. But imagine this. What does it say about the UAE and the value of your citizenship, where you make people happy that, oh my God, this is such a bad situation, but I'm so glad I'm not a citizen here because I would be in so much more trouble. We like criticize Australia with the way that they treated Zara K, because better countries, we criticize them for not defending their citizens enough, but barbaric Islamic countries like the UAE, we have to criticize them not because their citizenship doesn't protect you, but the citizenship could actually get you in more danger, not in less danger. Like, if you're an American citizen, you'll be like, oh, I know, like, if I get in trouble in this country, like, I have the United States coming out and trying to get me out of there, right? Better than Australia, because apparently Australia doesn't give a crap when you're in trouble in some other country as an ex-Muslim, right? But at least if you're an Australian citizen, at least the citizenship is not going to cause you more trouble. Because this man, if he was a UAE citizen, he would be facing the death penalty right now, right?
Well,
so if you're a UAE citizen, just remind yourself that news like this reminds people to be glad that they're not you. Your government is signaling to the world the worth of your citizenship is below zero. It's below zero. Like, we're happy that we're not a citizen of your crappy country. But go on, Susanna.
Oh shoot, where did it just go? So, like I said before, apostasy is a crime punishable by death in the UAE. Blasphemy is illegal, but expats involved, so that means like people who are living in the UAE but they're not citizens of the UAE, are involved in insulting Islam, are punished by deportation. UAE incorporates hudud crimes of Sharia into its penal code, and apostasy being one of them. So therefore apostasy is punishable by death in the UAE. So what this means is, but this is what's not clear to me. So I was reading other things about the UAE where it's been established by a federal court that non-Muslims are not subject to Sharia law within the country. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, and the difference between him being a former Muslim versus him being a non-citizen.
Right. No. Okay. So
I'm unsure of how that's going to complicate his legal case, because he's not a citizen. He might just be deported, but because he was a Muslim, is the Sharia system going to be applied to him? I don't know.
No, they can't. They don't have jurisdiction over, like, the worst they could do to him is deport him. Like, they can't do anything beyond deporting him. He's not a citizen of that country. They don't have the rights to that. Like, this is like, there's no way they're gonna do anything beyond deporting him, right? But it's technically, like, you can't be like, in an Islamic country, if you say like, oh yeah, Sharia law doesn't apply to non-Muslims, like, oh okay, great, I'm gonna leave Islam so your Sharia doesn't apply to me anymore. Like, no, 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 no. You don't understand. You were a Muslim when you left Islam, and the Sharia law does apply to you at the moment that you left Islam, and the punishment is death. So yeah. Rivka, you wanted to say? Did you want to say something? So Katie is saying, yes, I heard the same. They used to threaten him in India too, but could only get him when he went to UAE. Yeah. So this guy was an atheist when he was in India as well, and he was getting threats by Indian Muslims. Apparently, allegedly, we don't know if this is true. We don't know if these are true. This is what we're hearing. So in India, there is technically, in Kerala at least, there is a blasphemy law, apparently, for Muslims, but it's not enforced. So
for everyone in India.
Yeah, technically, but Kerala doesn't enforce the blasphemy law, to my knowledge. Okay, so yes, the guy had to go to the UAE. And for people who are saying, why did he people saying, why did he go to UAE as an atheist and also criticizing Islam as well? I mean, to be fair, the worst that could happen to him is to get deported. Why not go to? If you're worried about threats, he's getting threats in UAE and India at the same time. Why not go to the UAE if he wanted to, I don't know, get a job there or something? I mean, the guy is being true to his beliefs, so you can give him that. I don't see, he wasn't taking that major of a risk in the UAE. But again, we have to recognize that UAE is trying to whitewash his image right now around the world, to act like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, Sharia doesn't apply to you if you come to UAE. This is just for we just treat our own citizens like crap. We value our non-citizens more than our own citizens. Like, if you're not a citizen, you don't have to worry. We don't have to worry. We are such a garbage country that we feel like we could treat our own citizens like garbage, but we value the non-citizens here. Okay, so come here, feel safe. We're a modern, advanced country. Come give us your tourist money. I hope you guys care about your fellow human beings enough to see them as a backward, barbaric country, because the way they treat their own citizens, and that you are not only judging them based on how they treat tourists. Susanna?
Yeah, well, Katie's bringing up a good point in terms of why did he go? Lots of Indians go to Dubai for business purposes, especially Malaya people. Well, why am I echoing?
I don't know. Oh.
So what I was saying, he was South Indian. And then she continues, 60% or roughly 60% of the UAE population is South Asian, which I think is an important point, jumping on the back of what you were saying in terms of, oh, they're okay. They only treat their own citizens like crap. Well, only 20% of the UAE's population is actually UAE citizens. Meaning the fact that their citizens are held to such a incredibly draconian standard isn't highlighted as much, given the fact that the actual citizens who are subject to this are a minority within the country.
Okay, I think that echo was from Rivka when she came back. So Rivka, make sure you mute yourself when you're not speaking. Anyways, Rivka wants to speak. Go ahead.
So I wanted to just address the question about why did he go? I feel like it seems like an unfair standard to put on people that they have to change what they say and do because they're afraid. He may have had reasons we don't know, but he still has the right to say what he thinks and to put that out on. So now, granted, there could be consequences based on, where you are and the society that you live in. But I really hesitate to question him as to why he went. He's free to move and go, and where he wants to go, but he's also this person who also has the right to say what he thinks, even if he is in a place that doesn't acknowledge that.
Rivka, I couldn't agree more. It's so frustrating because it's so easy for someone in complete security to go, oh, well, why did they go there? Why did they do this? Why did they criticize this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, when they're not in that situation, it's just too easy and like such a cop out. I feel like, honestly, like when you would be shocked at how easy it would be to find yourself in a similar situation. Like for something maybe you said like years ago, you travel to the wrong place and all of a sudden you're in really hot water, you know? So yeah, that like criticism just really frustrates me.
Hey guys, YouTube has fully demonetized our channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct, without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists, without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.